Aw, I'm just kidding. My name is Rob. This is my 280Z. This is a project that we started a little while back. It's a personal project. It's very special to me. It got kind of put on hold for a little bit. We got really busy in business. If you guys don't know, it's TRICKFACTORY Customs. And these are the types of things that we love to do. So I'm gonna kind of bring everybody up to speed with what we got going on here. If you've never watched any of our previous videos, I think we did 4 other videos. You can check those out. You can kind of see a little bit, kind of what led us to here. If not, I'm gonna break it down very briefly. This is a 78 Datsun 280Z. I've had this car in my possession waiting for this for 18 years. And what we got going on here is kind of something that is something to test me, something to take me out of my comfort zone, something to allow myself and my crew, because I can't do this alone, something to express ourselves with. And so with that being said, what we've decided to do is completely eliminate almost everything that was the Z car. And that means absolutely no floor, no firewall, no suspension. None of the stuff that existed will be there when this car is done. All custom, one-off. And we've made some decisions along the way to sort of help sort of jump off to decide where we're going with that. And you know, some of the must-have items in this car is I wanted to have a supercharged LS engine. Why? Because why not? 750 horsepower supercharger is awesome. Decided to run a Tremec T56 Magnum because it's awesome, shifts butter smooth. Also, no longer are we running the R200 stock diff from the Classic Z. We decided to upgrade it with a 2019 5-liter Mustang LSD diff. We can see it's kind of ridiculous when you're looking into this open expanse now. You can kind of see where the T56 ends and that LSD 8.8 diff is, just how short the driveline actually is in this car. That kind of puts it into perspective just how small this car is. You can see we cut the whole everything out, and that basically allows us to do whatever we want. And so on this car, I've decided I'm gonna do a full tube chassis. It's gonna have a full roll cage, and I get to kind of design that any way that I see fit. And you know, we're gonna start with a kind of unique sort of thing. It's not like I'm reinventing the wheel by any way, but I'm gonna do a central spine, like a backbone style tubular chassis. It's gonna be all trellis, all tubular, and from that point, we'll make all of our connections to the body, and we'll make the car and the chassis become one. One of the really cool things that I had to have on this car, and kind of led me down the whole path of starting from nothing, was I wanted to have inboard coilover suspension. So in the back, we're gonna do pushrod suspension, and I'm gonna have the coilovers mounted on top of the diff within the cabin of the car. So if you imagine yourself sitting right here, this is kind of representative as to where the seat position will be. You sit there, You look right over your shoulder and boom, right there. 2 inboard coilovers traveling, I guess it's transverse to the rear suspension. So upper and lower wishbone suspension, inboard coilovers in the rear. This is that machined control arm pivot point.
Oh, okay.
And how it bolts onto a fabricated mount, flat mount with adjustment points on the tube chassis itself. So you kind of get an idea of how my mind starts playing around with ideas. And if I do all that right here on paper, on graph paper actually is really, really good. You know, a lot faster than doing it, say, digitally, you know. If I just do it real quick, I can flesh out an idea real quick, and then I can take it from this point, and I could quite literally take this idea, put it into like SolidWorks or Fusion 360, and really get precise with actual dimensions. I think I got enough drawings to get started, so I think the idea is to get back onto the Z's right away. So I guess, I mean, that's all digging real deep into what we're gonna do, but when you just look at it, you know, right off the hop, something that a lot of you guys will probably pick up right away is we got the Rocket Bunny kit on this thing. You know, we had to have it. You know, I saw Sun Kang's, you know, Z car that he built years back and had it at SEMA. I had to have it. It's so sick. This, it you know, adds a little bit of that modern flavor to an old classic. Plus, we're gonna widen up the track width a little bit. We have massive, massive Toyo R888Rs on this car. In the back, we're gonna run a 305 on an 18-inch diameter wheel. The front's a 245 on an 18. So big tire, big contact patch. There's so many things that are going on with this. Flat bottom car. I want to do actual aero on this car, so we're gonna play around with that. That's one of the things that I'm passionate and I'm learning about on my own time. And we had to create a jig to put this onto, to hold everything square, you know, build off of the jig right here. This represents the ground height, and so by putting a bunch of attention into making sure that this is built level and square in every way, every single time we take a dimension off of that jig up to the you know, the body, the chassis, everything that we fabricate from this point going forward, if we put enough attention into it, it's all going to be square, level. We put these tubes in very specific areas. You know, this tube right here is for where the center line of the front suspension is. That tube is for the firewall. I got my seating area tubes. I got my rear diff tubes. That and that and that, all that stuff, it's all really important. Like, that's the stuff that allows you to move forward in like a major fabrication kind of way with accuracy. So that's what it takes to do something like this. We just blew the dust off of it today. It's been sitting over here for a while. We blew the dust off, cleaned up the area around it. I feel inspired. We're gonna get into it. This car deserves some love. We're gonna show it some love. And I hope that everybody that watches this, you know, I hope that you guys all love this car too. If not, it's my car, so. On that note, this is the 280Z. This is the Z files. We're continuing on with this one. And if you want to follow along on this, consider liking, subscribing, and hit the bell notification. Follow us on all of our socials. We'll put a link down to all those. And come along for the ride. It's going to be sick.